Hi, I'm General Booty. I'm the quarterback at the University of Oklahoma, and you are now tuned into the greatest podcast on turf. Enjoy.
We are back from our 1 week vacation, bringing you our first half-PPR mock draft of the year. It's draft season. Once July 4th hits, it is time for draft season. We are a little bit early. It is, start of July. August is really when it starts going, but we're going to take a look at, the first drafts. Training camp hasn't quite started yet, so these things are going to change, but we're just going to get a little bit of a grasp of what's going to happen this year, possibly try some things out, and see how our teams are looking, see how much research we got to do.
Yeah, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Be sure to follow us all on all of our social media accounts. Hope you guys enjoyed the new intro to the podcast. And as always, check out our sponsor, Little Italy Pizza Shop, located in Townsend, Delaware. If you show proof you're subscribed to the channel, you're eligible for a discount. And if I'm there, I will personally buy your meal. Without further ado, here we go. Before we started this draft, we randomized. I took the first number, Ryan took the second number, Ryan ended up with the fourth pick, and I ended up with the sixth pick. So here we go. We got our first 10-team half-PPR mock draft of the 2023 fantasy football season, and we are underway. All right. J. Jeff, Christian McCaffrey, and Travis Kelce, 3 off the board.
I was taking Kelsey there.
I don't blame you.
All right, so in between a couple guys here, Jamar Chase, obviously, Bijan has to spark my interest, some. I think, with Austin Eckler here, I can't justify taking Bijan.
Really?
I would have 100% taken Travis Kelce there.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
But I'm going to take Jamar Chase. I'm going to lock down my wide receiver 1. This is half PPR. Jamar Chase is pretty good in, half PPR type of situations because he scores a lot of touchdowns. He's on a very good fantasy team, or very good team in terms of fantasy-wise. His rookie season, PPR 5, standard 3. Last season, 12 and 12 for both, and he missed 5 games.
Yeah.
So, with that production alone, I'm taking Jamar Chase to be my receiver 1. It would have been Kelce if he fell, but it just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I feel like you could justifiably take any of the guys that were drafted so far, and even Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill at the number 1 overall pick. I think is justifiable one way or another. Which leaves me here in an interesting spot. Cooper Kupp, his ADP has been rising over the past few weeks, is something I've noticed. I don't know how sold I am just because it did come out the Rams they tried to shop Matt Stafford heavily this offseason, and no one would bite because of the contract and with the situation of the O-line. And just, he's coming off was it the foot or the ankle? He's coming off some sort of injury. Then you got Tyreek Hill, obviously, Miami Dolphins guy, going to catch a lot of balls from Tua. He was a stud last year. And he is there with Jalen Waddle, so depending on how you look at that. Then you got Saquon, who I think is going to pop this year again. And then Bijan. With that, Cooper Kupp's ankle. I'm going to go ahead and take Bijan here. Yes, it is a rookie running back. It is 6. You could argue that is a little bit rich. But with the state of the Falcons, with how good their O-line is, they secured it. They have a lot of capital in Bijan, and they have a quarterback that they really don't know what they have in Desmond Ridder. And he is still young, and you see a lot of young quarterbacks looking to lean for the team to lean on the run game and throwing the ball to the running backs a lot. This Falcons team turned Cordell Patterson, revived his career, and Tyler Algier looked like a stud last year. So I'm very happy with getting Bijan here. And I'm very upset with the way that wraparound came. I would have loved Nick Chubb, CeeDee Lamb, or A.J. Brown. So here we go. I'm in another tough spot. I'm going to rule Mahomes out of the question. I'm not big on taking quarterbacks this early. Devontae Adams, I don't know, because I don't even know what the deal is with Jimmy Garoppolo. Amon-Ra called it. I'm going to go ahead here. Might be a little rich for some. I'm going to go ahead and grab Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson could have a really productive season this year with Aaron Rodgers. He was a stud last year with Zach Wilson and Mike White and whoever else got thrown out there at quarterback. He was the offensive rookie of the year, put up amazing numbers. So having him coming into his sophomore season where we've seen a lot of these receivers really break out, and we're giving him Aaron Rodgers, who to some is a top 5 quarterback in this league, makes me really happy to grab him in the second round and lock down my receiver 1 spot.
My next pick, I'm going to go ahead and grab a running back here, I believe. And I mean, Derrick Henry's on the board. Josh Jacobs is also on the board. Derrick Henry's a stud. He has been. Probably always will be. Josh Jacobs also a stud. Josh Jacobs might sit out week 1. So with this mock draft, I can kind of play it safe and just grab Derrick Henry. I could also grab Josh Jacobs and say when I draft in the normal time, you know, if he's still sitting out, I just don't have to draft him then.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Josh Jacobs.
I mean, he was a stud last season. Derrick Henry's always a stud.
Yeah, it's a tough call. It's a weird spot, like the middle of the draft in the second round.
I think I'm going to take Josh Jacobs here. He's a little bit younger, so, I mean, Derrick Henry's going to fall off at any given moment. This Titans team probably isn't going to be as good as the Raiders team. And then again, if Jimmy G gets cleared and plays, I think I like that situation more than I like Tennessee's situation.
Yeah.
So Josh Jacobs is my pick here.
Then you see Mahomes, Henry,
Jesus.
Adams. They got the Mahomes Kelsey stack for Team 3.
Team 2 is gross.
Yeah.
All right, pick number 3. Few options. This is kind of tempting. This is really tempting.
Do it. I think I know what you're thinking because I almost did it last year in the Standard League. Do it.
I'm taking Josh Allen here.
Oh, not what I was thinking.
Josh Allen scores a lot of fantasy points. He is one of those quarterbacks that can give you 35 to 40 points. Most quarterbacks are around that 25 range, so if I can get a guy with 10 points boost right there, I'm going to take it. This is a little bit unconventional for me, but I'm sending it.
Yeah, and here we go. There's a few guys I could go the quarterback route like Ryan did and grab Jalen Hurts, a guy who can get it done on the ground and in the air on a loaded offense with pretty much his whole offense coming back. Ramondre Stevenson of my New England Patriots should be in for a big year. Again, it is too early. I don't know if Dalvin Cook is coming to New England. He is the betting favorite, or the betting favorite to get him is New England. So as of right now, that kind of steers me away from Ramondre a little bit. I could go ahead and grab Mark Andrews, tight end for the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to be good this year, but I'm not sure if I'm reading too much into it. I just don't really know what to expect from the offense with Zay Flowers and Odell. They have talent in the receiver room. And J.K. Dobbins, this will be his full year back from the injury. So I feel like that could play into Mark Andrews' production some. And nobody else here is really sticking out for me, but I feel like I haven't done it in years past. I'm going to go ahead here. I'm going to grab Mark Andrews. I know what I just said, but he is Lamar's favorite target year in and year out. I know I passed up on it, Jalen Hurts, but the way it's looking right now, it's looking like I'm going to be able to do exactly what I thought and grab Joe Burrow. Top 5 quarterback here, locking up that AFC North stack with Joe Burrow, Mark Andrews. I get a quarterback who throws the ball a lot, puts up a lot of fantasy points, and can get it done on the ground if he needs to. So I'm extremely happy with my rounds 3 and 4 pick. Could be a little rich for Mark Andrews, but I'm expecting him and the Ravens as a whole with a healthy paid Lamar to really bounce back this year.
My next pick, I'm going to grab my second running back here, and I'm going a little bit unconventional. I'm not taking Aaron Jones. I'm going to take Joe Mixon. I do understand I have Jamar Chase. I get that wholeheartedly. But when you're looking at a Bengals team, they're going to score a lot of points every single week. That's just what they're going to do. This solidifies my floor with Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase because most likely I'm getting the touchdown for the Bengals unless it's to T. Higgins. So with these two guys, I have a pretty safe floor on a Bengals team that scores a lot of fantasy points. Joe Mixon, a lot of people are ready for the fall off, but he is a shoo-in for touchdowns. He can pass block pretty well, so I don't think they're getting rid of them anytime soon.
A few of my guys just went off the board, man.
Few options. I'm not taking DeAndre Hopkins. They say he's washed. I'm not sure if he really is or not.
When he's a Patriot, he's so back.
When he's a Patriot, he can be back. That's fine. Deebo Samuel's here. It's a little tempting. He had a horrible season last year in terms of, what we would expect from a Deebo Samuel. He was pretty solid, but just nothing that stood out. Nothing that was like, yeah, I own Deebo Samuel. I'm really happy about it. Amari Cooper's another guy that could be very tempting just because of the fact that now he's got Watson. A full offseason of Deshaun Watson is what he has. That's hard to be. Damn.
Yeah, it's tough. You're in a tough spot.
I mean, it's Deebo or Amari Cooper for me. Deebo might not have a quarterback.
Neither could Amari Cooper, in theory.
He does.
Right now,
I'm going to go with Debo here. I feel like it's going to be a bounce back year for him. I think he's a little bit pissed off, and I think he has better numbers. I think it's a bounce back for him. Round 5, I think, is kind of a value for him.
Yeah, I was hoping Amari Cooper was going to fall to me or Guy. I knew Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't going to make it back to me, but I would have been extremely happy with a Calvin Ridley or J.K. Dobbins here toward the middle of the 5th round. If I didn't grab Joe Burrow, I was probably taking Jay Fields here. But looking at it, there's a few guys who I really like here. Could go if D-Hop was on a team, obviously. DJ Moore I love this year. Drake London I think could be in for a good year, but I already do have Bijan. And then in terms of running back, I mean, Miles Sanders, Dameon Pierce, Alexander Madison here, all guys who I think are going to really pop off this season. With that being said, I say every year I'm not going to do it, but I always end up doing it. But I'm really confident in this team and this player this year that they're really going to pop off and make some noise within the division. So I'm going to go ahead and grab DJ Moore, a guy who's been on my fantasy teams every single year, and Ryan can attest to it. And by the looks of it, it's working out pretty good for me because I am now able to get one of the guys I passed on. I was hoping Dameon Pierce made it to me. Call me crazy, but I'm going to grab Miles Sanders here. Yes, I understand Miles Sanders. He had one good year. He's going to the Panthers from Philly with not as good of an offensive line. But Frank Reich coached teams have never had a running back that finished outside of the top 14. Having Miles Sanders coming off a career year is my RB2 in Carolina, where Frank Reich kind of makes it a priority to run the ball with a rookie Bryce Young. Again, is similar to Bijan. Similar to what I said about Bijan, a young quarterback going to rely on the veteran running back heavy, in this case, Miles Sanders being the veteran. So I'm super happy to grab Miles Sanders here. I locked down my receiver 2 and my RB2 positions here. Kyle Pitts is maybe another guy who I like at this spot, but I did have Mark Andrews earlier, so.
This is a dreaded range. Christian Watson, Chris Godwin, Dalvin Cook, Cam Akers, James Conner, Dre Swift, Alexander Madison.
All right.
That is gross. I kind of like Brandon Ayuk, but I have Debo, so I'm not going to do that whatsoever. I hate this pick and everything it stands for.
Oh my God, there's such a clear answer here, and I know you're not seeing it. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'll tell you after you make your pick.
I'm just going to roll the dice here. I'm taking Alvin Kamara. I don't know if he's going to be playing this season. I'm going to try to take his handcuff, and hopefully Anthony don't take him, but I'm taking Alvin Kamara here.
I respect you and our rules enough to not do that during a mock draft.
That's fair.
Now, during the real draft, all is fair in love and war.
I wanted Dallas Goedert on the wraparound, and I thought I would get him with Kelsey and Hawkinson already being
You're
taken.
tripping. No. There's somebody so much better there that's going to have such a better year.
You're talking about Darren Waller?
He's so back. I'm telling you, he's so back.
He's so bad. I don't know.
Dude, Daniel Jones was looking to throw the ball to Daniel Bellinger, or Cody Bellinger, whatever his name is. Bellinger had like a stretch of 3 games before he messed up something in his eye socket. They know Daniel Jones wants to throw the ball to a tight end. They got Darren Waller, who's got top 3 tight end potential. He's so back.
If I get Darren Waller, I have the best teams on my name of all time. It's just all names. Production, I don't know. The names, I have them.
Yeah, on paper, yeah.
Sure, piss on it. Send it.
Love that pick. Love the value.
It might not work, but if I'm being honest, I don't want Dalvin Cook. I don't want Mike Williams. I don't want Marquise Brown. Brandon Ayuk, I can't take. I like him, but I can't take him.
Darren Waller is probably going to be one of my guys this year.
You can probably have him.
Now here I am back. 2 guys here that I really, really like in this spot. Alexander Madison or Brandon Ayuk. The fact that the 49ers quarterback situation is so up in the air with Brock Purdy coming off the injury, it seems like they've completely given up on Trey Lance, and there is that, of course, that shot that Sam Darnold is the starter. I don't know how happy I would be if I did have to start Brandon Ayuk with Sam Darnold as a starting quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead here and grab Alexander Madison. Dalvin Cook's gone. He's always produced when Dalvin Cook hasn't been there. He's stepping into the full RB1 role this year. So I'm going to roll the dice on that. He is my RB3. I don't have to start him every week. So, I mean, I'm kind of happy with that. Back up on the clock. Now that I have 3 running backs and nobody here really does it for me, I'm going to look the more receiver route. Mike Williams, no. Christian Kirk, always a good option. I don't know how I feel about Mike Evans. But I'm really between 2 guys, Deontay Johnson or Jackson Smith and J-Bo. This is, of course, banking on the Deontay Johnson bounce-back season. He had a very high target share last year, but didn't catch a lot of touchdowns. But and then you could argue that JSN, there is a lot of mouths to feed in the offense with Tyler Lockett, with DK Metcalf, and Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. So this puts me in a really, really weird spot, honestly. I don't really... You know what? The quarterback's winning MVP this year. Let me get Christian Kirk. Trevor's winning MVP this year. Calvin Ridley's there. Christian Kirk had an amazing year last year, and I think could be back. If Isaiah Pacheco was there at that pick, I was going to just take him and just be a little running back heavy over receiver. But it didn't work out that way, so I grabbed Christian Kirk, who I think could have another really, really good year this year during Trevor Lawrence's MVP campaign.
So I'm going for my first bench spot here, and I'm in the position where, I mean, I just need to take the best player available. The
Just
whole
keep grabbing
team is
big names.
that's what I'm doing. Mike Evans is here. I understand that you don't have a quarterback besides Baker Mayfield.
Whoa.
You don't have the quarterback that he's used to. However, this man has put up 1,000 yards every single year in his career. He has been the epitome of just safe receiver.
Yep.
I feel like I have to take him to be my wide receiver 3. Might end up starting him some weeks. It's a safety valve, and I can't just let him stay there.
Yeah, I mean, never really seen Mike Evans go this low, so it just depends on if you believe in Baker or not.
Always believe in Baker.
I
JSN is here. Potential running back wise, not much here.
This is like the dreaded running back range. This is why it's like so important to try and prioritize running back early. But at the same time, if you do that, you miss out on a lot of solid receivers. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation either way.
Damn. Okay, I don't like JSN for this year. I think he's an amazing receiver. Will be for a long time. Too many mouths to feed.
Respect it.
I hate AJ Dillon.
Thanks.
Kadarius Toney, 87 is a little bit too early. James Cook, I don't think he's getting a full job.
I hate AJ Dillon.
So I'm going to go to a place where I've never been before. Antonio Gibson. Why? This might be the bounce back that we've all been waiting for.
Yes, Antonio Gibson.
All the reports are saying it's the bounce back.
Right.
We're in the 9th round, right? I need a 4th running back. Out of the running backs available, there's not much here.
No.
There's not much at all.
There's a couple names that stick out to me that I'm hoping to land one of them on the bounce back, but
Well, Antonio Gibson's off the board if he's one of them.
no, he's not. I believe me, I learned that lesson.
It's the 9th round. I'm fine with the lesson. If he wants to do that to me here, it's fine. Once again, another big name for the squad. We only have 3 more rounds.
Huh.
No kicker, no defense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This is tough. I am gonna go out here, and yes, I talked about JSN, Jahan Dotson, and Sam Darnold, and Sam Howell have that connection. Could go a Quentin Johnson rookie, but I'm gonna go ahead with the safest receiver on the board. I feel like, and that's Brandon Cooks. I mean, he's in Dallas. He's the receiver 2 in Dallas, probably. I think, yes, you could argue there's a lot of mouths to feed, but I think that Dallas is going to prioritize getting him involved. I know they don't have much capital in him, but getting Brandon Cooks, who's always good for a solid, serviceable season as my receiver 4, makes me feel really good about that. Kind of like Ryan took Mike Evans. It is a safety spot. I don't have a lot of capital invested in him, so it's kind of just a win scenario for me. I have Brandon Cooks. Here we go on the way back. My guy's still here. Samaje Perine from the Denver Broncos. I know there's talk. Javonte Williams is coming off the ACL injury. Probably he'll be out at least the first month of the season. And if that's the case, and if Bijan starts out slow or Miles Sanders starts out slow, you can get a Samaje Perine who is on a Sean Payton coach team who always makes it a focal point to utilize his running backs, build formations for them, and run plays around them, and especially in the passing game. Getting a month out of Samaje Perine could be good, and if Javonte comes back off the ACL injury from a slow start, I potentially have a season-long starting running back in the 10th round, and I feel like that's way too good of a value to pass up on.
Not in the best range here.
There's some dudes.
There's some. There are dudes.
Just keep taking big names, dude. Go grab your QB2 and just really milk this thing.
I can just take Michael Thomas.
Didn't even, yeah.
Just really, really milk it.
You could, but you probably are.
I mean, at this point, you know, it's a mock. This is why we do it.
This is why
I know I have Kamara, but I might as well see what Mike Thomas got in the tank.
Slant boys back.
Hoping to take a running back on the way back around. Jamal Williams just went. He probably would have been a pick there.
Yep.
We have to pivot. Pivoting is fine. Rashad Penny, no, he gets hurt a lot.
He's back.
Khalil Herbert, not bad. A-Chain, rookie, could be something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, it depends on which way you want to go here. I see a few different ways I would go with this. Like, I know a guy that I'm not going to say because I don't know if you'll take him or not, but a guy who I like a lot this year.
I'm going to go with A-Chain here. I think Miami is going to use him. He might just be a flex type of position, but I have Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, Kamara. Between those three, I have my two running backs covered.
Yeah.
Between Mike Evans, Jamar Chase, Devo, I had the receivers covered. So A-Chain here, if he can be used as a flex type player like a Curtis Samuel was last year, I'm going to go ahead and take him here. He has all the talent in the world, so we'll see.
So normally I would want to prioritize a backup tight end here. Dalton Schultz is sticking out to me like a sore thumb. But I do have Mark Andrews, and me banking on Mark Andrews means that I shouldn't use a roster spot in a backup tight end, although they can haunt me. Call my logic what you want to call it. This is tough. I think they're both going to make it back to me. So I'm going to go ahead here and grab another running back by committee. I seem to dip into this running back room every year for whatever reason, and it just never works out.
Buffalo? Nice.
Devin Singletary was pretty good last year when he was on. I'm going to go grab Damian Harris.
Yeah.
I mean, Buffalo is still searching for their true RB1. They haven't really found it. I haven't read up much on their running back room. And my last guy is here, Elijah Moore. This is the year. I really think that the Jets should have kept him and paired him with Rodgers and Garrett Wilson. But I really think this is the year for Elijah Moore to bounce back.
All right. Two guys here. I'm going to grab a backup tight end because I don't believe in Darren Waller. Normally, I don't, believe in that theory. But we're going to go ahead and grab our backup. Chigaquanu.
Yeah.
Definitely some potential there. Absolutely disgusting yards after catch for the guy.
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid. Heard he's a monster. I could stack him up with Josh Allen, and we could roll the dice, see what happens.
You don't want to do that because Damian Harris is taking all the red zone touches.
Yes, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen's taking all the red zone touches.
Damian Harris.
I'm going to follow the offense here. I'm going to go for the touchdowns. He was a first-round pick for a reason. Traded up for him. Dalton Kincaid's a pick here. Rookie tight ends usually don't do the best, but I'm going to believe in Dalton Kincaid here.
Yeah. Team 2 fell off a cliff after that third round. Now's the part of the mock draft. We're going to go team for team, rate the teams A to F, kind of giving a little insight. So you got team 1, started out very wide receiver heavy first. J. Jeff, Devontae Adams, grabbed Tony Pollard. Very rich for T.J. Hockenson. He really only had 2 good weeks.
I don't hate it.
In the 4th round, though, dude?
No, I just meant the team.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't hate the team. I like running back room could be in a lot of trouble.
Pollard, Dobbins, Akers, Montgomery. It ain't that bad because Montgomery's going to get touched. He's going to be Jamal Williams the last year. He's going to get touchdowns. Cam Akers, I think we could have RB2 numbers from the guy for the season. I think that's fair potential. Like late, like he's gonna be like the RB like 17, which ain't bad which is actually pretty good for where they drafted him.
Team 2. Were you done with Team 1?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We'll give him a. Yeah, I'll give him a B.
Team 1, I'll give them a B minus B. Then you got Team 2, started out in a heater with CMC, Derrick Henry, Jalen Waddle. Hate the Kenneth Walker pick, hate the Keenan Allen pick, hate the Chris Godwin pick.
Goddard pick I like.
Love the Watson pick at 8. His ADP starting to rise a little bit. George Pickens in the 9th, that's good value. Zay Flowers, the potential's there. Grabbing your Deshaun Watson insurance and Tua in the second to last round is
I like that too.
good value. Then Odell in the 12th.
I like that too.
Yeah, I mean, this team, Kenneth Walker, RB by committee, I probably would have rather had a J.K. Dobbins or one of the receivers that got taken in the Ridley, Debo, Amari Cooper, Drake London, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin range.
Those two receivers is like what's sticking out at me. The Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin. Like it's just hard to get past that. Because Keenan Allen is like the worst. Not the worst, but
It's just,
I would rather have Debo, Amari Cooper, McLaurin, probably even DJ Moore.
Yeah, I'd rather have even the Chris Godwin pick. You're taking a receiver too on a bad team. Like I would have rather had Cam Akers. I'd probably rather have Michael Pittman over Chris Godwin this year. Which might be a hot take, but
Chris Godwin's always been good, but I do hear you.
yeah, like you see what I'm saying? Other than that, those 3 picks, I'm going to give this team around a B again. I feel like they're solid. Them 3 picks probably would have, they had them that stretch of not those 3 guys, Kenneth Walker, Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin. This could have been one of the better teams.
I think I agree with you there.
Team 3.
2 running backs, Aaron Jones
right.
and Dre Swift. Just give them a C+. I love their first 3 picks. Kelsey, Mahomes, Higgins. Taking Kelsey Mahomes is a huge risk because you don't know if you're going to get a good running back. You don't know if you're going to get a good receiver. They got Higgins to be their wide receiver 1. I think that's pretty solid. He's around wide receiver 10.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones being running back 1, it's a little bit tough, but I think he has a pretty decent floor. I think he's going to get his touches.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Calvin Ridley on the back end.
Love it.
It's a little bit bold.
Nah, I love it, dude.
I mean, there's a very decent chance that Christian Kirk does better than Calvin Ridley. It wouldn't surprise me at all, just because of the fact that he has a rapport with Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Watson could work out. Dre Swift probably not going to work out. Deontay.
See, but I mean, if this is a real team, though, this team could easily move a couple receivers for a solid running back. Like, that's no problem.
I don't think they have the solid receivers to do that. They would need somebody they would need to dump Calvin Ridley off to a believer.
They can give them to me.
For Miles Sanders?
Yeah, I was thinking more Madison, but
They're not doing that.
why would they not do that?
I give like a C+.
I'll give this team, with the lack of running back, I'm going to give this team a B+. I like this team a lot, and I think if the right moves are made, I think this could be the best team in this league, besides me or Ryan. Then you got Ryan's team. Started out with Jamar Chase. Got Josh Jacobs, Josh Allen, Joe Mixon, Debo, Kamara, Waller, Mike Evans, Antonio Gibson. This is just a big name team with a couple rookies on the back end. I mean, me personally, I'm not big on not like trying to attack you. I'm just like throwing my 2 cents in on it. I'm not a fan of any of the running backs. Maybe Joe Mixon. Josh Jacobs might be holding out. The Raiders O-line didn't get any better. Kamara might not even play.
So how good Jacobs was last year with that Raiders O-line?
I get it, but he's holding out, and look what happened to Lev Bell. He held out and sucked.
Saquon going out. You're not taking him either.
Right now, no. That's why I
mean, it's a mock draft.
Yeah,
I hear you.
But yeah, I would give your team probably a C+, B-. Respectful, like a respectful.
Fair enough.
Team 5.
Off
Off glance, I love it.
I don't.
I love this team.
I don't.
I mean, the Chargers suck, so I don't like the Austin Eckler pick. Love Amon-Ra, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Devontae Smith. Love the stretch of receivers. Amari Cooper, Judy, Pittman, solid. Mike Williams, don't know. Running back room's extremely thin, but if Jahmyr Gibbs pans out, this team is really good with Aaron Rodgers in the last round.
Me personally, I don't love it too much just because I don't believe in Jahmyr Gibbs that much. He's a Detroit Lion at the end of the day, and he's not going to score touchdowns because they're going to give it all to David Montgomery. All Swift owners should know that is what happened last year, and that's what will happen this year.
That's fair.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think that's a little bit rich, honestly.
Yeah, he's going really early.
Yeah, I don't love that personally. Eckler's fine, obviously. Amari Cooper, I like that pick. Judy, I don't like that pick. We keep pretending he's going to be good, but he's been in the league for 4 years. He hasn't been good yet. Pittman, I don't really love Pittman either.
It just depends what you're going to get from it, Rich. It's kind of a gamble.
Mike Williams is what he is. Gets hurt a lot, but when he plays, he's pretty good at football.
Yeah.
James Cook, nope.
People are like living and dying on the hill that he's going to take over and be like the next big thing in Buffalo. But it's been 2 years.
Give this team like a C+.
Or no, last year was his rookie year, I guess. I think I'm giving my first A here. I'm going to say A-. I really like this team.
B-, C+ for me.
Go ahead.
B. John, like the pick. Garrett Wilson, don't really like the pick. Just because, I mean, you're really rolling the dice.
I really wanted AJ or CD or Nick Chubb to fall back to me. That was kind of just my cop-out. But if one of those three would have fell to me.
I mean, with AJ Brown being right before Garrett Wilson is a huge tier gap from him, I think I would have took a Jacobs or a Henry there and just solidified it. Mark Andrews, I like the pick. You have a good tight end to get you through for a while. Joe Burrow, I don't know how much I love this, just because of the fact that I'm not sure Joe Burrow puts up enough to really warrant like that.
That's fair.
Like Burrow's like a 24 guy.
Yeah.
You know, I think Aunt Rich can kind of get close to that. But I like to see the vision. DJ Moore, we all know what that is. It just is what it is.
I have a DJ Moore and Devin Singletary.
Miles Sanders, I like the pick. I think he does pretty good in Carolina. Madison, I don't know how much I love it. I don't think he's that good at football is the problem.
Damn.
I mean, he's better than me, but no, good. He's Christian Kirk, love the pick. Brandon Cooks, can't go wrong. Samaje P. Ryan, great. Damian Harris is what it is, probably.
Yeah.
And Elijah Moore's good. Give it the B+, A-.
That's fair. I was really hoping to land Pacheco.
But I would have gave you an A+.
Yeah.
Team 7, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, so they had the stack. DK Metcalf and Drake London, so a little bit of a fall off there. Drake London, he don't have a quarterback, and DK wasn't that great last year.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts, they stack up Atlanta. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't like that.
However, they do have Dalvin Cook and Isaiah Pacheco, so there's potential there.
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson, Gabe Davis, Rashad Penny, and Khalil Herbert. It ain't bad. It's actually probably one of the better starting lineups.
This is an A- for me.
I think B+, A-. I'm right there with you.
I mean, yeah, because you have what? You have your 2 receiver spots locked down with your quarterback to stack one of them. Dalvin Cook, if he signs somewhere, will probably be the starter. Then you get the Chiefs starting running back, who was a stud last year, and Isaiah Pacheco. With the potential of Khalil Herbert to be the starter in Chicago at some point, and Rashad Penny if he can stay healthy. Then Kyle Pitts, I'm a believer in Kyle Pitts this year. I think he's going to bounce back. DK, I like Drake London this year. I don't like the stack. If they didn't stack those guys, I'm probably a little bit higher on this team, but I think an A- is well warranted for Team 7.
Team 8 was on a blazing hot start.
They took the Anthony Alentrio 2022 fantasy football strategy, go so heavy on running back and figure the rest out.
First 5 picks are beautiful. I like Dameon Pierce. I like James Conner, but I don't think they should have grabbed both of them. I think it should have been one of those should have been a receiver, such as a Mike Williams, Brandon Ayuk,
Christian Kirk.
That's fine. Yeah, just one of those guys. Yeah. And then, took another receiver. If you want Marquise Brown, that's fine because he was pretty good last year. But that would have changed the whole trajectory of this team if they just took a receiver at that James Conner spot. You don't want 2 Arizona Cardinals this year. I promise you do not want 2 of them this year. Kadarius Toney might be a very good pick. Pick round 9. You can't go wrong.
Did you see what happened?
Yep. That was funny. Yeah. Brian Robinson.
That was your boy last year. He was our boy. We
Yeah.
made a whole video on him, Damian Pierce, and Dre Day.
And we were right on 2 of them.
Yeah.
But Brian Robinson, 10th round. There's nothing really wrong with that. You know, he is what it is. He's going to get some touches. 10th round is decent value. Juju, horrible pick, horrible team.
Oh,
And Dalton Schultz, nothing wrong with it.
I love the Dalton Schultz pick. I think Dalton Schultz could finish as a top 7 tight end this year.
I give this team a A-. If they literally just took a wide receiver over James Conner, it'd probably be A.
I will say I'm not big on the Breece Hall pick at all. Again, coming off the injury, they are talking about him. They are talking about bringing in Dalvin Cook. It sounds like it's between New England and the Jets to bring in Dalvin Cook.
Everything I heard from Breece Hall is that the tear was clear,
Yeah,
and he's going to be fine.
that's fair.
When it's clean, it's better.
Yeah,
But
you know how it is though with the knees and the running backs. It's
Yeah.
tough. I mean, not every running back is Adrian Peterson coming off the bad injury. You know.
Yeah.
Team 9.
holy receivers.
Cooper Kupp, CD, Chris Olave to start it all. Love the first 4 picks. Then again, as we see with a lot of these teams, they take a little dip with George Kittle, Justin Herbert.
Pick a dip at round 6.
Giant dip at round 6. Kind of bounce back though. Javonte in the 8th is solid value. Again, depends on his status with the injury. Rashad White is quite the gamble though, with how banged up the O-line is and with the teams might kind of just load the box and force Baker to throw the ball depending on how he plays. Got the Seattle rookie stack in JSN and Zach Charbonnet, finishing off with Cortland Sutton and a guy who they're going to drop to pick up another tight end by week 3.
So, I think if they took Isaiah Pacheco over Javonte Williams, I would love it.
Yes, 100%.
Javonte Williams' injury was much, much worse than
Well,
Breece
because
Hall's
at that point
or
they got
anybody's.
Rashad White and Pacheco. Those are 2 of my guys. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
My team is just going nuclear. It's solid though. Charbonnet at round 10, I think that's decent value because he might still get 50% of the touches on a high-scoring offense
Yeah.
with Seattle. I'll give it a B+.
Yeah, I
Solid
mean,
football team.
again, the Kittle pick's tough because he really wasn't all that last year, and you don't know the QB situation. Again, like you touched on with Javonte, they drafted Jamison Williams, who they don't have for 6 or 8 weeks, whatever it is.
He's round
And I mean, they probably need a quarterback, so
12.
I'm all set on that. I'm gonna give this team. I'll give this team a B-.
Herbert puts up numbers.
I'll
You're
give
just
this team a
empty.
B. Team 10, wrapping it up.
That round 3 pick is just so disgusting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, who else could they have had?
I don't know.
3, then it went to. I mean,
Taking Najee Harris is just is what it is.
yeah.
It's so much you just getting those 20 touches of nothing. Right up the middle, and you pray that he gets a touchdown for 14 points.
Yeah.
If not, he's giving you 8. I mean, that's what Najee Harris is. Ramondre, I like the pick. If they took Joe Mixon, I know it's a little bit early for Joe Mixon.
If
here,
they
but
grab
took
any
Mixon,
of the other running
Trey,
backs, Joe Mixon, Jahmyr Gibbs, or ETN, this team is a lot better.
Yeah, because you got Justin Fields, who's a top fantasy quarterback.
Yes.
You got D-Hop, who's going to sign with somebody. He might work out. He might not. Either way, you got Brandon Ayuk to pair up with Diggs. Lockett's always been safe. Pat Fryermuth at tight end. Probably got the worst tight end in the league. Yeah. Here's what. What? No, not in this league. In this league. Not in the NFL.
Why is
Not
he?
in the NFL.
I was like, why
No.
is Pat Fryermuth catching
Pat
strays?
Fryermuth is better than any tight end on the Cowboys. ever
That's
will
why I
be.
was so. I'm like,
No.
why are you throwing
In this
strays?
league. This league.
That's fair.
Yeah, my bad. Kirk Cousins, no, that's actually the worst quarterback in the league. But
Justin Herbert got drafted, dude. There's no way. I like. This team is a tight end away from an A+.
I'm right there with you.
This is an A. If this team, I don't know how it would have worked out or looked different, but even just say if they grabbed a Kyle Pitts over a D-Hop, and with still grabbing Lockett and Ayuk and Bateman down at the end, I would say that this is probably an A+ team for me.
I think I'm going to give it an A. I don't know if I would have took Pitts over D-Hop, but I do think if they just took another tight end instead of Kirk Cousins, if they took Chigaquanu at 12, it'd be an A+. Like, this team could easily be an A+.
Yeah.
Team 10 put up solid numbers. Team 2 put up solid numbers.
Team 6.
Team 6. Apparently my team sucks. Team 8 did pretty...
On paper, you have the best team, and it is not close. This is like 2 years ago, this is a team you made a bunch of trades somehow, and you ended up just with a God squad.
Yeah. This is like you've been just selling out dynasty picks, and you just eventually... Just
this is a dynasty team if you want to win this year or next year.
That's what we're going for. This is...
Just like you did in the last mock. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up our first mock draft. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Comment your guys' thoughts, comments, concerns, advice, criticisms below. You guys seem to do it anyway, but we enjoy the comments. So thank you guys, and we'll see you guys on our next upload or next week.
See you.
Peace.